Hey everyone, I'm working to hit 1,000 subscribers and I need your help to get there. If you enjoy this content, please hit that subscribe button right now.
This window on Wednesday, allowing him to put the pads on and get his first work on the fields in over a year.
Getting him back to playing football, practicing football, which he hasn't done in over a year. So it's a good next step for him.
What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we bring you the most explosive NFL drama that nobody else is talking about. Today, we've got a story so controversial, so absolutely mind-blowing, that when I first heard about it, I literally had to sit down and process what was happening. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns, we're talking about Shedeur Sanders, and we're talking about what might be the most disrespectful move a head coach has made against a rookie quarterback in modern NFL history. Before we dive into this absolute chaos, make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe, and turn on those notifications, because trust me, you do not want to miss what's coming in this league over the next few weeks. This situation is developing faster than a Patrick Mahomes no-look pass, and we're going to be covering every single twist and turn. Now, let me set the stage for you. Cast your minds back to August of this year. That's right, all the way back to the summer when hope was still alive in Cleveland, when Browns fans thought they might actually have something special brewing with their rookie quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. I was one of the first people on this platform to tell you exactly what was going down behind the scenes in that organization. I put it out there plain as day. Word on the street was that Kevin Stefanski didn't care about Shedeur Sanders, not one bit. Zero, zilch, nada. Everyone thought I was crazy. Everyone thought I was just stirring the pot, creating drama for views. But let me ask you something right now. As we sit here in December watching this absolute train wreck unfold, who's looking crazy now? Because everything, and I mean everything that I predicted back in August, is coming true, right before our very eyes. I told you that when the time came for Deshaun Watson to be activated, they were going to do exactly that, and Shedeur Sanders was going to find himself on the bench faster than you can say Coach Prime. Well, folks, grab your popcorn and hold on to your jerseys because that time has officially arrived. Kevin Stefanski and the Cleveland Browns just opened that 21-day practice window for Deshaun Watson, and the implications of this move are absolutely staggering. Let's break down exactly what's happening here because this isn't just about football, this is about respect, this is about organizational dysfunction, and this is about a young man's career potentially being derailed by what can only be described as pure pettiness. We're sitting here with 4, maybe 5 games left in the season. The Cleveland Browns are not making the playoffs. Let me repeat that for the people in the back. The Cleveland Browns are not making the playoffs. Their season is over, done, finished. They're playing out the string, going through the motions, basically auditioning for next year. So riddle me this, why on earth would you activate Deshaun Watson's practice window right now? What possible purpose does this serve? Is Deshaun Watson going to suddenly transform into the Houston Texans version of himself and lead this team on some miraculous playoff run? Of course not. The man hasn't played football in over a year. He's coming off a serious injury. There is absolutely zero football logic behind this decision. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is where we need to connect the dots that the main
practice. I know he's been working hard to recover and doing everything he's able to do for this day.
That's going to be exciting to see him out there. I hope I can get the first interception on him coming back. But no, I'm happy for him and looking forward to seeing him out there.
His future on an actual football.
Mainstream media refuses to connect. Remember, we just saw Dillon Gabriel, another rookie quarterback in this league, get his first crack at starting. You know how many games they let him play? 5, maybe 6 games, to really show what he could do, to get comfortable, to learn the NFL game at full speed. That's what you do with a rookie quarterback that you actually believe in. You give him meaningful reps. You give him time to develop. You give him the opportunity to prove himself. Now compare that to what's happening with Shedeur Sanders in Cleveland. Do you think they're going to give him that same opportunity? Do you think he's going to see 5 or 6 more games as a starter, with Deshaun Watson lurking in the background, getting practice reps, getting back in the building's good graces? I don't know about that, and neither should you. This is Kevin Stefanski we're talking about. This is a head coach who knows his seat is hotter than a Cleveland summer sidewalk. He knows the ship is sinking. He knows that when this season ends, there's a very real possibility he's going to be cleaning out his office and looking for a new job. And you want to know something? He doesn't care. He's going out swinging, and unfortunately for Shedeur Sanders, he's the one getting caught in the crossfire. Let's listen to what Stefanski actually said in his press conference, because the words coming out of his mouth are almost as interesting as the words.
Over a year.
Getting him back to playing football, practicing football, which he hasn't done in over a year. So it's a good next step for him.
Watson
Words he's not saying. He talks about how great it is for Deshaun to get back on the practice field with his teammates, how excited everyone is, how Deshaun has worked so hard in his rehab, all sunshine and rainbows when it comes to Watson. But notice what's conspicuously absent from that entire statement? Not one word about Shedeur Sanders. Not one word about how this affects the young rookie who's been out there taking hits, learning the offense, trying to build chemistry with his receivers. When reporters pressed Stefanski about whether the organization has a desire to see Deshaun Watson on the playing field, he danced around it like he was auditioning for Dancing with the Stars. His focus, he claims, is just on getting Watson practicing again, throwing the football, wearing the helmet and shoulder pads. But come on, we're all adults here. We know how this works. You don't activate a 21-day practice window unless you're planning to potentially use that player. That's the whole point of the window. And here's the really telling part. When asked about incorporating practice reps for Watson, Stefanski said he'll be getting individual reps right now, and the next step would be scout team reps. Scout team. We're talking about a quarterback with a fully guaranteed $230 million contract running scout team, while a rookie is supposed to be getting valuable first-team reps. Does that sound like an organization that's committed to developing their young quarterback? Does that sound like a team that's planning for the future? The footage of Deshaun Watson at practice today tells its own story. There he is, back in Browns gear, throwing footballs, going through drills. And look, I'm not going to sit here and hate on Deshaun Watson, the person. The Browns gave him that massive contract. They committed to him long before Shedeur Sanders entered the picture. From a purely business standpoint, I understand they want to see some return on that investment. But from a football standpoint, from a what makes sense for this franchise standpoint, this move is absolutely baffling. Cleveland Browns fans, I know many of you are going to be upset with me for saying this, and I respect that. I know you love your team. I know you've embraced Shedeur Sanders and the excitement he's brought to your city. The fans have been absolutely incredible, showing up, supporting this young man, giving him the benefit of the doubt even when things haven't always gone perfectly. But I have to keep it real with you. The organization doesn't share your enthusiasm. The organization doesn't appreciate what they have in Shedeur Sanders the way you do. If they did, they would be protecting him. They would be building around him. They would be making it crystal clear that he's the future of this franchise, and everyone needs to get on board or get out of the way. Instead, what we're seeing is the exact opposite. We're seeing a young quarterback being undermined at every turn, being set up for failure, being put in impossible situations where success is nearly unattainable. And this brings me to a larger point about what we're witnessing here. This situation with Shedeur Sanders and the Cleveland Browns is unlike anything we've seen in modern NFL history. Think about all the rookie quarterbacks who have entered the league over the past decade. Some have succeeded, some have failed, but in almost every case, the organization either commits to them or moves on. What we're seeing in Cleveland is this weird purgatory where they drafted Shedeur Sanders. They're technically playing him, but they're also seemingly doing everything in their power to make sure he doesn't succeed. I keep telling people that one day, maybe 10 years from now, ESPN is going to do a 30 for 30 documentary about Shedeur Sanders and his time with the Cleveland Browns, and it's going to blow everyone's minds. The behind-the-scenes stories, the organizational dysfunction, the way this young man was treated, it's all going to come out eventually. And when it does, people are going to look back at this moment, at this decision to activate Deshaun Watson with 4 games left in a lost season, and they're going to see it as the smoking gun that proves what many of us already know. There's so much happening behind closed doors that we don't even know about yet. Conversations in meeting rooms, interactions between coaches and players, front office decisions that make absolutely no sense from the outside looking in. This is just the tip of the iceberg. The public humiliation of activating Watson while Shedeur is still the starter is just what we can see. Imagine what we can't see. Now, I want to address something else that's been bubbling under the surface of this entire situation. There's been talk, and I'm not saying this is confirmed, but there's been talk that the Browns organization isn't comfortable with the attention that comes with Shedeur Sanders. They don't like the media circus. They don't like dealing with Coach Prime's influence. They don't like the fact that every game becomes an event, that social media explodes with every throw, every win, every loss. And you know what? If that's true, if that's really part of the calculation here, then that tells you everything you need to know about this organization. Because in today's NFL, attention is currency. Buzz is valuable. Having a young, exciting quarterback who people actually want to watch should be considered an asset, not a liability. The fact that Cleveland might view it as a problem speaks volumes about their mindset and their priorities. Here's what really gets me about this whole situation. The Browns had options. If they truly didn't want Shedeur Sanders, if they truly believed he wasn't the answer, they could have traded him. There would have been teams lining up around the block to acquire a talented young quarterback with his pedigree and potential. They could have gotten draft picks, they could have gotten players, they could have gotten assets to help rebuild their roster. Instead, they're keeping him, playing him just enough to say they gave him a chance, but seemingly doing everything possible to ensure that chance doesn't result in success. It's sabotage. There's no other word for it. And the most frustrating part is that Shedeur Sanders is handling all of this with incredible grace and professionalism. He's not complaining to the media. He's not demanding a trade. He's not throwing teammates or coaches under the bus. He's showing up, doing his job, trying to get better every week despite the chaos swirling around him. That's the mark of a true professional, and it makes what's happening to him even more difficult to watch. Let's talk about what happens next, because this story is far from over. That 21-day practice window for Deshaun Watson means we're going to be watching this situation develop over the next few weeks. Every practice report, every press conference, every hint about who's getting first-team reps is going to be scrutinized like never before. If Watson progresses quickly, if he looks good in practice, the pressure to insert him into the starting lineup is going to be enormous, regardless of what that means for Shedeur Sanders' development. And here's the thing that should terrify Browns fans. Let's say they do bench Shedeur and put in Deshaun Watson. What's the best case scenario there? Watson comes in, plays okay for 4 games, the Browns finish the season with a losing record anyway, and then what? You've accomplished nothing except destroying whatever confidence and momentum your rookie quarterback had built. You've sent a message to your locker room that nobody's position is safe, that organizational chaos is the norm, and that long-term planning doesn't exist. The worst-case scenario? Watson comes back, looks rusty, or gets hurt again, the team continues to lose, and now you've completely torpedoed your relationship with Shedeur Sanders to the point where he potentially demands a trade in the offseason. Then you're right back to square one at the quarterback position, except now you're stuck with Watson's immovable contract, and you've alienated one of the most promising young quarterbacks to enter the league in recent years. I've been moving some things around in my schedule, thinking about making trips to Cleveland to cover these games in person, to bring you all that exclusive content and behind-the-scenes access that you can't get anywhere else. But how can I commit to that when the organization is operating like this, when you don't even know from week to week who's going to be under center, when every decision seems designed to create maximum drama and minimum clarity? It's frustrating as a content creator, but more importantly, it's frustrating as someone who cares about the game and wants to see young talent succeed. The Cleveland Browns are sitting at a crossroads right now, and the path they choose over these next few weeks is going to define this franchise for years to come. Do they commit to Shedeur Sanders, shut down the Deshaun Watson noise, and build for the future? Or do they continue down this path of dysfunction and chaos, trying to salvage something from Watson's contract while simultaneously undermining their rookie quarterback? My prediction? Kevin Stfansky is going to keep playing these games because he has nothing to lose. His job is likely gone anyway, so why not see if Deshaun Watson can somehow, some way recapture even a fraction of his old form? Maybe if Watson plays well, Stfansky saves his job. Maybe if Watson fails, Stfansky can say he tried everything, and it's not his fault the roster was broken. Either way, Shedeur Sanders is the one who pays the price. And that's what makes this whole situation so frustrating and frankly so wrong. We're watching a young man's career being used as a pawn in organizational politics. We're watching talent being wasted because of egos and contracts and decisions that were made before he ever arrived in Cleveland. It's not fair to him. It's not fair to the fans who have embraced him, and ultimately, it's not good for the Cleveland Browns organization. Shedeur Sanders deserves better than this. He deserves to be in a place where he's appreciated, where the organization is fully committed to his development, where he's not looking over his shoulder every week wondering if some other shoe is about to drop. There are teams in this league that would kill to have a quarterback with his talent, his composure, his football IQ, and his leadership ability. Cleveland is treating him like a burden instead of the potential franchise-altering asset that he could be. So, where does this leave us? We're going to watch this situation very closely over the coming weeks. Every practice report, every press conference, every hint about the depth chart is going to tell us more about where this is heading. If Deshaun Watson starts taking first-team reps, we'll know that the writing is on the wall. If Shedeur continues to start games while Watson practices, we'll know they're trying to have it both ways. And if Watson actually gets into a game, well, that's when things are going to get really interesting. The sad reality is that this situation was probably avoidable. With better communication, with a clearer organizational vision, with leadership that was committed to making tough decisions and sticking with them, the Cleveland Browns could have avoided this entire mess. They could have either committed fully to Deshaun Watson and not drafted a quarterback, or they could have moved on from Watson and fully embraced Shedeur Sanders as their future. Instead, they tried to split the difference, and now everyone loses. Cleveland Browns fans, I feel for you. I really do. You've been through so much over the years, so many disappointments, so many false starts, so many moments where it looked like maybe, just maybe, your team was finally figuring things out. And now here you are again, watching organizational dysfunction play out in real time, wondering how your team manages to find new and creative ways to sabotage itself. The national media is going to spin this as the Browns just trying to see what they have in Watson, as a team exploring all its options. But we know better. We've been paying attention. We've been connecting the dots. This isn't about maximizing assets or making smart football decisions. This is about ego, about contracts, about covering for past mistakes, and unfortunately, about undermining a talented young quarterback who deserves so much better. As we move forward into these final weeks of the season, keep your eyes on Cleveland. This story is far from over, and I have a feeling we're going to see some developments that shock even those of us who have been following closely. Whether it's Shedeur getting benched, Deshaun Watson returning to action, Kevin Stfansky getting fired, or some combination of all three, there's more drama coming. And that's what makes this so compelling, even as it's frustrating. We're witnessing something unprecedented in NFL history. We're watching a franchise struggle with its identity in real time, making decisions that seem to defy logic and football sense. We're seeing a young quarterback navigate an impossible situation with grace and professionalism. We're observing how organizational dysfunction trickles down and affects everyone involved, from the players to the coaches to the fans who just want to see their team succeed. One thing is certain. This situation is going to be talked about for years. Whether Shedeur Sanders eventually succeeds in Cleveland or moves on to find success elsewhere, people are going to look back at this moment, at this decision to activate Deshaun Watson with 4 games left in a lost season, as a turning point. It's going to be a case study in how not to handle a quarterback situation, how not to develop young talent, and how organizational chaos can destroy even the most promising situations. So that's where we are, folks. The Cleveland Browns have activated Deshaun Watson's practice window. Shedeur Sanders' future with the team is more uncertain than ever, and we're all just sitting here watching this train wreck unfold in slow motion. It's frustrating, it's dramatic, it's absolutely wild, and it's exactly the kind of NFL chaos that we can't look away from. Now it's your turn. I want to hear from you in the comments section right now. Do you think the Browns are deliberately sabotaging Shedeur Sanders? Do you believe Deshaun Watson should be activated right now? Where do you think Shedeur should end up if Cleveland doesn't work out? Should Kevin Stefanski be fired immediately? Give me all your thoughts, all your predictions, all your hot takes down below. And if you made it this far in the video, you're clearly invested in this story just as much as I am, so do me a favor. Smash that like button right now. We're on the road to 20,000 subscribers, and your support means everything to this channel. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single update on this developing story. I'll be here bringing you the latest news, the hottest takes, and the inside information that you won't find anywhere else. This Shedeur Sanders situation in Cleveland is going to continue evolving, and I promise you, I'll be covering every single development as it happens. Until next time, keep supporting great young talent like Shedeur Sanders, keep demanding better from NFL organizations, shake off those haters, and I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.